Welcome, my name's Michelle and I'm from ShellyDippity.com, and today I will be showing you how to make this darling little treat bag using Stampin' Up's treat bag punch. I love this little punch board. It's really fun to use. You can make treat bags in small, medium, and large, and it comes with instructions on what size paper you need for each and kind of how to get started with it, and it provides a nice little helpful diagram that you can refer to make sure yours kind of looks the same. So these little treat bags have a base and a little lid, which I think is just cute because you can have more fun with different colored papers and such. This one is fall themed, of course, but you can make one for whatever occasion or holiday you'd like. Sorry, I had trouble getting the lid on there. You can make one for birthdays, Christmas, get well soon, any everyday kind of thing. So, and of course feel free to use whatever papers, embellishments, ribbons you want. This is just how I made this one. So I will show you how to basically make the top and the bottom, and you can run away with it. Make it your own. That's the fun part of crafting, right? So we're going to get started. Today, also, before I forget, for this one I used the Acorny Thank You bundle from Stampin' Up, so I will be using the stamp set and the punch. You can also purchase them separate if you want. I've got a good deal on the bundle here. But you can also decorate, like I said, however you want. So, we're going to need 2 sheets of paper. One will be for your base and one will be for your lid, as I call it. So the base needs to be 5 by 11 inches and the lid needs to be 3.5 by 11. I'm using paper from Stampin' Up's designer series paper called Into the Woods. I love it because it's fall, but it's two-sided like most of their designer series paper, of course. But it has some fall papers and some that can kind of go for anything, like the other side you see here. But I like the little acorn, so that's what I'm going with today. So we're going to start off with the base. So grab your handy gift bag punch board here, and I'm going to start by lining it up here. And I'm going to take the corner, make sure you have your little bone folder or scoring tool out. So I'm going to line up the edge of my paper with the little start line at the punch board. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a line there and it has a nice little pointy end sticking out. So that's what I call it the indicator. We're going to line it up to the little indicator there. And you're going to punch and score. And I like to do the horizontal line first because I always forget if I don't do it first. And I like to bring it down here and make sure I get the top of that because it kind of hides under the punch element there. So, yep, got it all scored. Okay, so after you do your horizontal line, this is a medium box. You can, of course, make a small and large box. You would just need a different starting size paper. But we're making the medium one, so I'm going to score at the medium score mark. Now I'm going to take the part I just scored. I'm going to make sure that score line lines up to the start line, like so. And then you're going to punch, and I'm going to score the horizontal line before I forget. You always do the horizontal line on these boxes. And this is a side, so we're going to score the side score mark there. It's labeled side 2. I'm sure it's hard to see on the video there. And the triangle here. Oop, almost lost my alignment there. Okay. Alright, and now I'm going to move the last score mark, the one that I just made for the side here, and move that down to the indicator, to the little start line here. And you're going to repeat. Punch. Now I'm going to find my medium and my M for medium box here, and make sure that's scored. And then keep doing my horizontal line. Now I'm going to move that one, and you got one more time here. Move it to the start line. And this is a side, so I'm gonna, let me not see, I almost forgot the horizontal line again. Do my horizontal line here. And then I'm gonna do my side. I call it side because it's labeled side here on the box. And your triangle. When you do the triangle, those are the sides of the boxes. There we go. So, oh, and I almost forgot to punch. Alright, so when you're finished, it should look like this. I'm not sure how well you can tell in the video here, but it pretty much resembles what I see over here, except I haven't punched the holes yet. So, we're going to put that to the side for now, and I'm just going to emphasize my score marks here to make sure, kind of fold them nicely here. Make sure I can fold this box properly. And here's my little side tab. And get my horizontal line. Alright. So, I'm going to, the little side tab here, which is the last thing I punched out, I'm going to trim off a section at the end here so it looks nicer. I'm just going to trim this part off at the end here using little snips. Sorry, going off camera here. And I'm just going to trim off the bottom corner so it folds a little nicer. Alright, so I still have a tab there, plenty of space to put some adhesive in. It's just I needed to trim the corner off here. So that's what it looks like. So, and if you can look on the diagram here, they kind of trimmed it off as well. So that's pretty much just what I was doing. Right, so now I'm going to adhere my side here. I'm using my Fast Fuse from Stampin' Up. It's a really strong adhesive. So I like to use it on these bags and boxes. Alright, make sure it's adhered. And now I'm going to fold the bottom in, so I'm going to probably put adhesive on one of these two sides so it folds nicely. And now our little triangle shape for the V is just going to fold in like that. Folds in really nicely. Your two little V's there. So I'm going to add adhesive to these two sides here. And I like to tell everybody with the Fast Fuse, a little bit goes a long way. You don't have to put it all over everywhere because it's a very strong adhesive. I'm actually going to put some on this one as well. Okay. Oop. Almost folded it in wrong. Add a little more adhesive here, sorry. Alright. Sorry, just trying to make sure I fold it nicely here. Okay, and then you can kind of reach in with your bone folder or make sure it's laying down flat so it adheres nicely. So there you go. You have a nice little box. That's the base. So now we're going to put this to the side for a few minutes while we work on the box lid, this little part right here, using your 3.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So for that we're going to need our scoreboard. We're going to line it up and we're going to be scoring at 3 1/4, 4 1/4, 5 1/4, and then at 8.5, 9.5, and then 10.5. And when I always like to tell people that we're going to be really careful using the designer series paper, or any designer series paper really, because it's a little more fragile than the cardstock and we don't want to punch holes in it. So make sure you use the bigger end of whatever scoring device you're using, and just kind of use a lighter hand initially than you would with the cardstock. So I'm going to start here at the 3 1/4. I'm going to go 4 1/4 and 5 1/4. There we go. And now we're going to go to 8.5, 9.5, and 10.5. Alright, and that's all the scoring we needed. So I'm going to put this out of the way. Alright, so, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Now this is going to match your base. So even with this, you have two sections that contain 3 score marks close together. Trying to bring it up so you guys can see it. And those are going to be your little inward V's, the little sides that fold in. So you're going to kind of make sure they fold in a, I call it the letter M or W depending on how you look at it, but it's an accordion fold. So you're going to make sure it's, you know, comes inward like that. I'm going to do this one, make sure it's nice and scored. Alright. Just emphasizing my score marks. Okay, and then you would put it together like so. But before we do that, we're going to make sure we have the holes punched. So we're going to bring back, let me put this in here so I don't lose it. We're going to bring back our gift bag punch board. And we're going to line this side up. But we're going to be using the other end for your for the hole. We're going to be using the reverse punch side. So I'm going to flip it over so I can see it. So I'm going to line up the end of the paper here with that little mark. It's kind of looks similar to this little end right here, but it's on the reverse side. So, and I'm going to start with punching a hole. Here we go. And then I'm going to come over to the next line and punch. I'm going to skip the center part. Excuse me. So I did the end, punched. I went to the second score mark, punched. I'm going to skip this third one and go to the next one and punch. Then we move over to the other side, punch, and skip this middle one, and then punch the tab. There we go. So now we're done with that part. Move this out of the way. There we go. So now you can see if you were folding it and put your little tab in, like it would be lined up, you would have holes to put your ribbon through, like so. Okay? So we're going to add some fast fuse adhesive. I'm going to try to stay in the camera zone here. To the tab. And bring them together. Sorry, my fast fuse isn't rolling. There we go. Okay. And make sure it's nice and adhered. There we go. So now you would have your top and your bottom. Now you can run whatever type of ribbon you'd like through this. I'm going to use my chevron ribbon from Stampin' Up, and it's a little thicker than what it's in pumpkin pie, but I think, I mean, unless you look hard, my paper's tangerine, but I think it's close enough. And a lot of people like to use a thinner ribbon. It's because it, you know, it's fits through nicer. I'd make a bow with it. For this one, when I use a thicker ribbon, I just kind of do a cute little knot bow is what I call that. It's not a full bow like your little, you know, it's not like a bow. It's just a little knot bow. So I'm going to find the front here. Let me try to find. So this is my front. I'm just going to run it through. Make sure it's straight. I like the thicker bows. I'm a big, I really like, I love using ribbon, but I really like the thicker ribbons for some reason. The dainty ones are cute too for cards, but for projects I'm very drawn to the bigger ribbons. But like I said, it's a matter of preference. You can pick whatever colors and whatever color ribbons and everything you'd like to use. Okay, so I just kind of eyeball it here. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to do my little knot, making sure this is straight. Make sure it looks cute. There we go. I like to leave my center a little bit big so that it's noticeable. Kind of looks like a bow, but not really. I'm just going to cut off the sides here. Alright, I just cut the little ends in a diagonal here to make it look cute. There we go. So there you have it. And this would be kind of just work it in there. And there you have it. You would decorate it however you would like. And again, you can use whatever papers you want. I'm decorating mine using the Acorny Thank You bundle from Stampin' Up. And I'm just using some scrap sheets of paper I have in different colors. I cut out my little circle and a little scalloped circle that I'm going to probably use as a base. So I just need some acorns from this set. So I'm taking out some acorns that I'm using here. I'm using these 2 acorn bases and these 2 acorn toppers there. And I punch, usually I stamp then punch, but for this, because you're punching both items out at the same time, I usually punch first. So I'm using some scrap cardstock that I have, and I'm just going to make 2 acorns. There we go. And I think I'm making the bottoms using Tip Top Taupe. And I'm going to use Tangerine Twist to match my cardstock and Hello Honey for the toppers to kind of add some color in there. So that's my Tip Top Taupe. Okay, and I'm going to use this cute little striped. I usually move it to my gray section over here so I can see it clearly, because white on white or white on cream is hard to see. And I'm going to make one solid. The photopolymer stamps are really easy to see through for lining items up, so okay, now I'm going to come in with my little Hello Honey. I think this is the color I used. And put a little stamp on the cap. There we go. And some Tangelo Twist. And I'm going to use a little dotted cap for that one. Make sure it's right side. There we go. So, in addition, I also thought I'd put a cute sentiment on this one, so I'm using the Thankful. And I'm going to bring in my little scrap here because I'm just going to cut that one out. There we go. I'm just going to cut it out and put it as like a little ribbon on the top there. So I'm just going to come in with a little adhesive. For this one I'm just going to, you could use your Tombow or your dots, whatever you have. I'm just going to use the Tombow real quick, my tape runner real quick. I was thinking about the Tombow. But any of the glues really would do. There we go. And cute little acorns. See, that was really quick and easy. I'm going to bring in my little circles here that I'm using as my background. Just adhere them to the other. And I like to kind of line it up. And for one, I'm going to put this back one directly on the paper. Just use the fast fuse for that one real quick. This one I'm going to use some dimensionals for because I want some 3D-ness in there. Here are my dimensionals. So just put a couple dimensionals on this. And I kind of like them off-centered, kind of like so. Okay, and now I'm just going to quickly cut out my little thankful sign. I like to leave a little of the white around the edge. Okay, so here's my little thankful sign, and I think I might also put this on with a little dimensional. These dimensionals are the best thing. I love using them. So quick, and they really add that little something extra when you're trying to lift a couple of the things off the paper a bit. There we go. So now I'm going to adhere this onto my top. I'm only going to put adhesive on the top half because I want it kind of lined up like this, and I'm not going to do the very bottom. I'm going to use our fast fuse for that. Just kind of do 2 rows like that. And I'm kind of just going to hold the bottom here and glue it on like so. So there you have it. That's how you can make these cute little gift bags. I'm kind of awkward about putting them in, but they slide in pretty easily. So, and I've even put like little candy bars in there, and it kind of stays lifted off the page a little, and I still think it looks cute. On these particular ones, I'm actually putting in Milano cookies and a little bite-sized, snack-sized bag of peanut M&Ms because of the nuts. That one's for my husband, and a couple of these are for my neighbors. So, again, this is my first tutorial, so I'm really sorry if I went off the camera scene here a little bit, or didn't cover anything adequately enough, but feel free to ask me any questions you might have, and have fun crafting, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.